So welcome to this Workday Release 31 webinar, part 1. I will start with a small introduction of myself. My name is Jeroen Scholten. I'm support coordinator for Ataraxis. I am Workday certified, and I will be the organizer of this webinar. What is the objective of today? I would like to provide you with a clear understanding of the upcoming changes in Workday 31. Also to enable you to consider what's applicable for your company and where we can assist you in. So the modules that we are going to cover today, it's HCM and reporting, core and advanced compensation, absence, integration, and cross-functional. First of all, I would like to talk a little bit about community, where these features come from. So the importance of Workday community, all features that you will see in this release are based on customer experiences. So customers like yourself have the possibility to raise and vote on brainstorms. If these brainstorms are big enough and there are enough customers who are struggling with different kind of things in Workday, or would they like to see more features, then they can raise these. There will be votes on it, and the most votes likely will be implemented in the next release. So Workday community is really important for our Workday landscape, and what I would really explain again that the importance of community. So please keep raising brainstorms and vote on these, of course. Next, I would like to also remind you of the safe harbor. All the features that you will see today are safe harbor, meaning that they are now in a preview tenant, but Workday cannot guarantee that these will also be in production, or they will be in production in a different kind of way. So please keep reminding this. Next to that, I would also like to tell you that we have a chat option in this webinar. If you have the control panel or the panel on the right or left, depends where you moved it, there is a chat option. If you have any questions during this webinar, please raise it as a chat. And I will have a look after the webinar if I can answer these questions, and I will send an email to you after the webinar. After the webinar, if you have different questions, my email address will be on the last slide of the presentation. So you can also send me an email if you have different things that you think of after the webinar. So how are we going to do it today? We have different features. Some of them are opt-in. Some of them are automatically available. The symbols you can see, the wheel, are opt-ins. The star with the A are automatically available, and you will see these symbols on the slides, so you will know if it's an opt-in or if it's automatically available. Next to that, we have a star or an explosion, how you would like to visualize it. This means that the production date is in the future or is not determined yet. You will see these in the presentation itself, but I will also definitely mention these. So let's start with the first module, that is, of course, HCM. So for the opt-ins, we have 5 that are in the first slide. So the first one is establishments. If you are using establishments in Workday, which is not every client has these, of course, but if you are using these, you are now able to add continue workers to these establishments. Also in Spain, you have CCC employees. These can also now be included and tracked. So it will give you more control over local reporting and compliance requirements. The second one, you can already see there is the star or the explosion. The production date of this one is not determined yet. So this one will not be live in your production on the 8th of September. But it's a sub-process for add additional jobs. So now in this business process, you have the possibility to have collective agreements, employee contracts, and probation periods configured. Previously, this was not possible. The third one is employee contract custom fields. So now it's possible to have custom fields in employee contracts. So for example, if you have a non-solicitation clause, you can have a custom field made for this. You can report on it, and you can customize your business process further. So you have a nice possibility to now report on this new data. The fourth one is translate business and position titles. You now have the possibility to manual or bulk override default Workday business and position titles with your own customized titles. You can do this one by one by translate instance or run a report called business object translation report, where you can change the translations or the business and position titles in this report. The fifth one is the reference letter segmented security. If you're using reference letter, this is a really nice feature. Before Workday 31, you were only able to secure these reference letters by countries, but now you have the possibility to secure these by security group, segmented security group, and template. So that's a really nice feature. Then we have the sixth one. I have also included, if you look at these are 5 features without any screenshot, but I also have features which are a little bit bigger and have more brainstorms behind it. So I will talk with you about this with screenshots so you have a better indication what it means. So if you look at the review probation period, this business process can now be used in different business processes like the change job, termination, edit or extend probation period. It will give you a better reporting on how your probation period is moving in the company. You have less chance of missing probation periods as it will send out reminders. And also you have a better custom configuration per country. If you look at the screenshot on the left, you can see the questionnaire. So this is also a new feature where you can ask the manager or the HR administrator to fill in this questionnaire, how the probation period went. When this questionnaire is filled in, you go to the right screenshot and you have the HR manager showing or filling in how the probation period went. So if it's successfully completed, if it's undecided, or if it's unsuccessful. If it's, for example, successfully completed, you can configure it that it goes straight to change job, so you can work from this new business process. The third one is the single field phone number. You probably recognize this one from the Workday 30. Workday 30 also had a change with this feature. What they did at the time is they went from 2 fields, the area code and the phone number, to 1 field, the country phone number. So now in Workday, this field is still there, so it's still 1 number, as you can see on the screenshot. But now Workday gives you the possibility to do formatting. So you have 4 options. You have the E164, international, national, or Workday traditional phone format. The big difference is that the first 3, so the E164, international, national, will give you the possibility to have automatically formatting. So for example, an employee fills in a phone number still with the area code. Workday will automatically format it to the format that you have chosen. This is less confusing for the user. You have less fields. It will automatically format into the format that you would like, so there are no mistakes. If you have an integration where these phone numbers are being sent to, you will always have the right phone numbers being sent, so there are no mistakes in the integration as well. Next to there is also a report where you can view these invalid phone numbers, which are entered by the workers. Like I said before, this can impact your integration, so testing is definitely advised. Then we have the HCM automatically available features. The first one is national ID masking. So now the masking is for self-service users. This feature was, I believe, also in Workday 29, but please correct me if I'm wrong. I added a small example. So before the Workday 31, it was 9 times an X, and then the last 3, or depends on the ID, of course, the last numbers are available. But now after Workday 31, all the numbers are masked. Next, there's also a step you can add where employees have to verify their own IDs to improve security, but also to improve data, Workday data, which is really good. If you're using safety incident trackers, there's now an add-on on this feature. You now have a save for later button added, as you can see on the left slide in the low part here. I'll show it. So when you start making a safety incident and something happens or you have to leave, you can save it for later. Also, they added now involved parties. For example, in the Netherlands, it's called arbodienst. For example, the insurance, the representative of the insurance. You can add these kind of parties to the incident, so you have everything in one place. Also, the web servers were improved, so now you have edit, save, and report fields. And the last part of this feature is that there is now a cleanup duplicate safety incident for mass cleanup. So you can have a start date and end date, location, and you can decide between these dates for that location you're going to clean up all the safety incidents. Then you have the third one for the automatically available ones for HCM. You might recognize the same setup as the regrettable prompt in Workday 30. If you look at the first screenshots of the Workday 30, you have the eligibility for rehire and hire. It was a button, and it didn't really indicate if you tick it, it will not be eligible or it would be eligible. So it was quite confusing. So now they added a prompt with yes and no, and yeah, a prompt definitely gives less confusion because you only have two really clear choices. This is for identifying employees, pre-hires, and former workers who should not be rehired. The one thing that's really nice about this feature is that when you, for example, click no, so the employee is not available for rehire, Workday will automatically rule these employees out for rehire. So you will not be able to choose these employees when you create a position and you want to use the same worker. So that's really nice. This can definitely impact your training material, so please be aware of that. Then the fourth feature, which is also a really nice one in my opinion. Let's go straight to the screenshot. So the first one in Workday 30, if you have a termination for an employee which is already started or which is already successfully completed, you are not able to start a change organization assignment. It will give you an error saying that the termination is a conflicting event. So I know that for a lot of clients this gave a lot of problems. So now it's possible. So you start the termination, you successfully complete the termination, but still you are able to start a change organization assignment process, which you can see in the second screenshot. You will still get an alert saying that there is a future dated staffing event for this employee, but you can ignore this event and you can complete this process. In red, you can see be aware to maintain existing behavior, add entry conditions to change to the change organization assignment BP. So this feature will be automatically available in your tenant. If you don't want this feature, or if you need time to use this one, you should add entry conditions in your BP in order to not want this. So please be aware of that. Then we go to core compensation. You see that there are actually no opt-ins, so we go straight to the automatically available features. So the first one is the severance matrix. So it's to streamline and expand the ability to manage severance matrices. So it will give you more flexibility. You can have now multiple severance pays per employee. And also the feature will allow you to automatically close the severance pay after the termination date was passed. So that's also really nice. The second one is a zoom in again. The comp grade and pay range security. So what it does now, yeah, you can see it on the right. So you can now change security. It has now different domains which you can easily set with security. Before, it was really difficult to hide pay ranges or to hide compensation for that user group, but not for that user group. So now Workday created new domains which give you the possibility to easily change security for the grade profiles, grade, pay ranges, and compensation itself. So for example, you can allow managers to see a compensation, but not the grades or pay ranges, or financial analysis to see the grades, the pay range, but not the compensation. Or if wanted, you can hide the pay ranges completely if you don't have pay ranges or you just don't want them to be visible. I had a really nice screenshot here, but I see that it doesn't really. Yeah, so this is before. Before you had everything was stacked in one field, so you don't really have the possibility to show the pay ranges, where you now have the possibility to show the total base pay, so the pay ranges. So you can hide all these one by one for the user groups that you would like to hide them from, which is really nice. In orange, in the right left corner, if you would like this, you need to change your security, of course. The domains that are being added, they are empty. So, well, they take the configuration that you have now. So if you want to change, if you want to hide or not hide certain things, you have to change your security in these domains. The third one is a report. It's the calculated plan calculation audit, category audit. So it will give you more insight in the construction of your calculated plans. As you can see here, when opening the report, you have the chance to filter on calculated plan when running, for example, the second one, minimum wage. You can see the calculation, you can see the category, and you can see the type. Why does Workday add this report? Well, in Workday 31, there are enhancements which will have an impact on the compensation calculations. Workday doesn't say which enhancements these are, but they said that this report will help you to prepare for this. Then we have advanced compensation. For the opt-ins, we have two. I also made a zoom in for two, so we can go straight to the zoom in. The first one is the next participant only in compensation reviews. So what it actually does, if you look at the screenshots, you see these two screenshots. The first one is next participant only, and the second one is entire hierarchy. What this means is that before Workday 31, you only have the option for entire hierarchy. So when you have a compensation review and it went for approval, it went through the whole hierarchy. So it had a lot of approvals, a lot of approvals needed from all the ranks of the company. And now you have the option to only go for next participant only. So it will only require one approval for the next participant. So this participant can be the manager or the compensation administrator or the planner. It depends a little bit on your configuration. If nothing is done, then the entire hierarchy will still be the default. So if you do nothing, if you decide to do nothing, then nothing will change. This feature also contains the complete on behalf, the reassignment, and other process controls. These are limited because Workday wants to prevent inappropriate approvals. Second one is individual goals in bonus calculations. So when you tick the net attainment review applied button, which you can see here, you have the option to individually give these bonuses to employees. So if you look at Betty Lou has yes, so it is applied. So the person who, probably the manager or the HR manager, can give here the individual goals in percentage or in amount. And if you look at Jacqueline Desjardins, she doesn't have it, so there is no way to change or add any bonus calculations. So this will give you more individual control over the bonus calculations. Then we go to absence. For absence, we have 2 opt-ins. The first one is the time off web service. So Workday now allows you to bulk load validation time off request by using a web service, which is a really good add-on. There's also integration, but I put it under absence, so that's why. The second one is the absence tiers data entry validations. You can see the star or explosion again under impact. So it will not be live in your production on the 8th of September. So what it actually does is it's configure data entry validation on absence tables, and it will give you more control over the entered data. In the past, it was not possible to, it was not easy to add these validations to absence tables. So this is now also possible. We have one automatically available feature for absence, which is effective dating for time off. So it delivers effective dating for absence time off setup in order to create an effective dating version of time off plans and accrual. Also, this feature is expected in production in November. That's why the explosion is there again. So it will not be live in your tenant on the 8th of September. Then we can go to integrations. There are 6 integrations which are completely related to payroll. The first one is the worker effective change interface. So now you can export all work data changes into a simple XML file. This eliminates the need to process payroll and other business functions outside of Workday. So the integration system will support the data changes related to the transaction. So that's the first one. The second one is event-driven integration for third-party payroll. This integration for the hire BP is automatically sending data regarding new hires to the third-party payroll. It will also correct the errors and resend the information until the integration is successfully completed. So it will keep sending it until all data is accepted. The third one is local payroll data integration with ADP Global View. So it corrects validation errors immediately in the ADP Global View integration in order to complete hire and job changes in one location more easily. The fourth one is local payroll data integration with NGA HR. It will enter, validate, save, and correct local payroll data for countries in Asia, Europe, North Korea, who have this NGA human resource integration. The fifth one is external text documents. Employees are now able to see their own external text documents in their self-service, which is also a nice feature. And the last one is RTI FPS. It has an improved process time on integration submissions with a new BP business process, and also for streamlining the HCM revenue and custom text data submission. Please be advised, as mentioned in the lower part of the slide, the testing for integration is always advised. Then we have the cross-functional module. That's not really a module, but. So the first one is the opt-in. You have a generate documents local language display. I also have a zoom in for this one. So what it does, it updates the language settings and local formatting when generating a document. It's really easy, simply accessible in the business process. It's called manage attachments. When you click on this, oh, sorry, that's incorrect. But it's in the business process, so it's simply accessible. So what it actually does, it's simple formatting. You can see the fields, so it's easy to have the dates formatted, position names. So this gives you, it's easy to format the document. Also, it's available in the language that you have enabled in your tenant setup. So if you click on the change display preference, You can choose the language that you would like to have it translated to, but it only allows you to choose the language that you have enabled in your tenant setup. This feature also needs to be configured. A box has to be ticked in the tenant setup in order to have this. Ah, there it is. So you click on change display preference. You have the current preference and you want to have it, for example, in Deutsch, in German. You click German and then you have automatically formatting and translating in your tenant. Then we have the cross-functional for additional available. The first one is composite reports. You now have more control over your composite reports. You can duplicate columns or rows. The use of composite reports now feels much like Excel, where you can drag columns up and down, left to right. So it really gives you an easy way to work with these reports. Next set is the dashboard tabs. It's now possible to have more than 6 tabs. Before Workday 31, you only had 6 tabs, but now you can enable more than 6. Also this one, the production date will not be the 8th of September, but it will be expected on the 28th of September. The third one is the renaming of the W drive. If you go to your homepage, you click on your icon, you have the W drive, but this will be renamed to My Reports, and Workday also announced that they will improve the use of this. What this improvement means, it was not mentioned, but I guess this will be communicated soon. Then we have number 4, it's a zoom in, it's the business process attachments. So what it does, before you didn't have the option to add or remove documents when a business process was successfully completed. You needed to cancel or restart the business process and then add the attachments again, which was really high maintenance. If, for example, have wrong documents attached to a business process, which can be bad for your GDPR. You can just simply go to the business process. You can click on Manage Attachments, as seen in the screenshots, and then you can see the document, and you have the possibility to delete it and upload a new one without canceling and restarting the business process, and not have to go through all the approvals again. In order to have this this feature, your security policy needs to be adjusted, so people need to be able to see this this button. Otherwise, it's not possible. So thank you for joining. We went through all the modules in the first part. I would like to mention again that for part 2, next Thursday, we will go through talent and performance, recruiting, learning, time tracking, and benefits. The recording of this webinar will be available soon. It will be available by email, and also in the email will be a link to YouTube. You can watch it back on YouTube. Like I said before, I will check the chat if there are any questions. I will come back to you as soon as possible. If you have any questions that pop up after the webinar, please send me an email and I will come back to you. Yeah, so thank you again. I hope you have a nice day, and we will talk soon. Thank you.